Alright, let's sit here and get active here. What is up, everybody? How are things going? And what's up, everyone? My name is Brent Lee, and welcome to Wicked Minis. How is everyone doing on the Sunday YouTube live action that we got going? What's up, Talon? Alright. We've been sitting here plugging away with Tyranids. Been doing pretty well, too. Not bad. Plugging them away. Gonna be working with the Neurotyrant here. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly getting there. Still haven't gotten to the masses of the Tyranid army with all the Termagants, Neurogants, the Gargoyles, all this other stuff we gotta do. But we're making some pretty good progress. Pretty good progress. Kind of knocking out a bunch of these cool character models. On the old, on the loop tube. Plugging away on the old loop tube. Oh, alright, so. Get these guys. Fire. Hoping to actually plug both of these guys. The little dudes. Each part of here. We should be able to paint. Two like that. So space that. Oh yeah, the Gaunts took me a long time to build. Built a lot of Gaunts. And then, like, the Neurogants are even smaller. They take a little bit of time, too. But yeah, we got, like, the Termagants. We got the Ripper Swarms. A handful of them. Got the Gargoyles. The Gargoyles were kind of tough to build, too. Out of the 85, you got 20 to build. That is a lot. I still got more... I got more Gaunts to build, but I got enough for the 2,000 that we're starting with. Then the other batch of 20, or the other batch of 2,000 points of Tyranids. It'll have to wait a little bit. All I wait for is like specialty boxes, 2-player box sets. Which I assume that this year will probably be the year for 2-player box sets. Because unless something gets like refreshed, like how the Dark Angel box, you know, got like a refresh, comes with a codex. Most of the time things will be coming in as, you know, but then they're doing all new combat patrol boxes, so maybe it won't happen this year. Because everything's going to have new codexes. So maybe not until 11th edition is where we're going to get 2-player box sets. For 40k. I just don't see a whole lot of 2-player box sets gonna be, you know, like having like Gene Stealer Colts and Custodes, since everything's a brand new edition for 10th edition and everything's gonna have new combat patrol boxes. So pretty much it's gonna be like, here's Custodes, combat patrol box, and codex, and here's Gene Stealer Colts, codex, and combat patrol box. I don't think we're going to see that until 11th edition, if they're going to continue the edition. So there'll be like newer codexes, and then that's when you'll be like, you know, Necrons and Admex 2-player box set, and here are the 2 codexes for it. That makes sense. So I don't think I'm going to see very many 2-player box sets. Mostly just anything that's going to be getting refreshed. So, like the Dark Angels came with their own codex and a starting box. Sold out extremely fast. That was a very limited box set. And like later down the road, it'd probably be a refresh on the Space Wolves, maybe. The Barbgons ain't bad. The Barbgons, because they're only in groups of 5s, so they're not that bad. You're not building like groups of 10 to 20 Gons. The Barbgons ain't bad. My thing is, I just don't know exactly how to utilize the Barbgons. They're not very powerful, but they're supposed to slow down armies. So I guess if you have a successful hit with a Barbgon, then that unit's like speed is cut down in half. Is it half? I think the Barbgons are the ones that do that. I don't know if it's like a successful hit or a successful wound. The Barbgons. Your shooting phase after this unit is shot, select one enemy infantry unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of your opponent's next turn. The enemy unit is disrupted. While the unit is disrupted, subtract 2 from its movement characteristics. Subtract 2 from advance and charge rolls made for it. So you're subtracting 2 with a successful. It's a successful hit or wound. I'm sorry. I'm so. Hit by one or more of those attacks. I'm assuming that it would have to go all the way through. Like if it caused. But it doesn't say causing damage. It just says getting attacked. Or being hit by one or more of those attacks. I'm not sure. Not sure. It's a very, but it's kind of nice to be able to subtract 2 from infantry units. And then that subtracts 2 from charges and advances. So, you know, you need 9 to get into relative. Well, you need 12, but if you're 12 inches away, you're not going to be able to get there. When you're within 10 or 9, subtracting 2 from it, you need to roll 11 or higher. So even when you're 9 inches away, you're going to need to roll box cards. So that does make it a little harder to charge a unit. I think those are good to kind of stop hard hitting charge units. But they need to have infantry keywords, so probably anything with like jump packs. It'd be nice to subtract their charges, their movement. Instead of moving 12, they're moving 10. And then when within, they have to be like within 8, you'll be successful enough to roll 8, but you still can fail those too. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can be failed on those. Been cleaned or not. Hope that works. I think I cleaned all the other ones. Let's start laying some colors down. We've been BSing long enough. Really interesting. Alright, it might be just me. I don't know if it's just me or not, but okay, so if you take a brand new bottle of Pro Acryl regular color, Smoke Eater, what's up? How you doing? It feels nice and full, but then the Signature series, they don't feel as full. Maybe it's just me. Maybe there is the same amount. But they don't even feel the right weight to them either. Like, that feels lighter than this one. I like these bags that Pro Acryl comes in because that's what holds all my bits. Well, I save those. Nothing goes to waste. Because once I open up my own game store, I'm gonna have so many bits that I'll just have a bunch of little dime bags, and then there's like as much as you can stuff in those things, and then just charge an X amount of price per bag. I have two different bags, like a super small one and a super big, like a bigger one. So like one that's like yay big bag, one that's like that big of a bag. I like that wide, you know, and like charge like $2.50, $5. Stuff them, good to go. Okay. Get myself ready to go. Box bite. We're gonna sit there, we're gonna base coat the whole thing in dark plum. We're gonna break out the scale, do it by weight. Gonna do it like old school hardware stores and stuff when you're like measuring out nails and stuff. I figured that the bags would probably excuse itself, I guess. You just did like bags of something. But I guess, I mean, you could do weights, but I doubt that even one of those bags of weights would give you an ounce of weight. I mean, you're gonna be talking about like grams. You're gonna be charging by the grams, man. Like be sitting there friggin'. I think it'd be a bit much. Charging by the grams. An 8-ball of plastic. A little bit of flow improver, a little bit of water. I need a little bead up stir brush. Ooh. in a mess. Like I said, I'm gonna cover this whole model. I like Pro Acryl. Their range line is getting nicer and nicer after over the years. I like Pro Acryl. I like AK Interactive. I like some Scale 75 stuff, like all the flesh tones from Scale 75, like highly recommend. AK Interactive is relatively the same closeness as Pro Acryl for the consistency and the pigmentations and the consistent, you know, extra, you know, every bottle is like that. Don't I have exclamation mark Pro on there? I think I have exclamation mark Pro for Pro Acryl. I think I have that as a command. I think I did that. There's still some army painters I liked. I was trying to refill up on my army painters and totally missed out on those. Anything that kind of has, you know, that 100% match on the. But then I'm waiting. I gotta wait until see what the Army Painter 2.0. And the thing is that I don't have a store that's carrying them anymore here, so I'm gonna have to order those online as well. Because I like their leather brown. Like, I love their leather brown from Army Painter. But like I said, like that 100% match is nice. But Monster Brown is not. And neither is like the dark stone. I love the dark stone color from Army Painter. So there's like a few things I like from certain companies. Army Painter has amazing washes. I love their wash. GW, I like all their technicals. And then, but yeah, that's mostly what I've been using now, is just some Scale 75. AK Interactive is going to be kind of my new paint choice that I'm going to do. I know a lot of people paint with Vallejo. The only things that I use from Vallejo are my their primes, their thinners, their airbrush thinner, their flow improver, and their mecha varnish is what I use from Vallejo. So everything has their own little piece into what I paint. So, but I do like Pro Acryl a lot, but I do like AK Interactive too. It goes on very smoothly as well. Scale 75 is kind of hit and miss with their medium mixes. Their colors are not exactly what the bottle looks like. They kind of dry either darker or lighter. So the consistency of what color, so it kind of takes a little bit of getting used to with Scale 75. But their flesh tones are like, I highly recommend their flesh tones. You can buy them as a set from Scale 75. Yeah, and like Citadel, like some of the Citadel paints, like there's a couple of the metallics I like. Mephiston Red is a really nice red. Their technicals, I really like them. And then like Vallejo, I don't use a whole lot of Vallejo paints all the time. I always have a hard time getting Vallejo paints. They have like different kind of sets and series that I'm not exactly sure of, so I just didn't get them because they're just kind of hard to get the paints. Like I would have to buy them all through Amazon. No, I don't have a game store that just carries Vallejo paints. So there's not something that I can consistently grab the paints all the time. It's always kind of like a hunt down for paints in my part of the wood, in my neck of the woods. I can consistently get AK Interactive. I was gonna try some MIG paints just to see how that goes. I can't wait. Hopefully one of these days that secret weapons will come back again. That would be awesome. But yeah, that's just kind of where I am and what I'm using. I do have a ton of Citadel paints, but I just don't really necessarily use them. They're inconvenient a lot of times for me for them being potted paints. But when I start working onto the Necrons after I'm done with the Ultra Bros, I'm going to be using Rune Lore Brass. That's going to be coming from Citadel. And the Cryptic, the Chnoptic whatevers, Metallics, and all that stuff's going to be used for my Necron, for the Necron army that we're going to be doing. So I will be doing some Citadel paint. And the D&D army painter ones are like really good. You're not you don't like the D&D line? I always heard the D&D line always had like a really good the color pigmentations. But army painter takes a little time to get used to too, because they're really thick in their mediums and stuff like that. So you gotta kind of play around with army painter, but you can get a pretty good output on army painter paints. I painted with Army Painter for years before I started with Pro Acryl or AK or any of that stuff. Or Scale 75. But not all of the Scale 75 is that great. So that's the thing. Like their reds are kind of hard to work with. They have really a high amount of medium mixes that you have to kind of play around with. Very transparent on a lot of their paints, so it takes a lot of layers. And Smoke Eater, and I can't remember if you're here in the States or you're over in Australia. I can't remember. Exactly. You're in the States? Okay, so you're in the States. And it's easier to order, so you can order Pro Acryl paints and then have them shipped to you. Normally you just get like the basic set. I think that even that comes with quite a bit of paints just for the basic for Pro Acryl. AK Interactive, I normally just order it through them. Who else carries AK Interactive? Game Castle carries AK Interactive. I want to say there was another one. I think Herrick Games and Hobby carries Pro Krill. Not sure if they carry AK Interactive, but the thing I like about them is that they come in sets, so they're kind of nice to deal with. Like, I like stuff that comes in sets. But it's nice that, you know, Vallejo is actually readily available where you're at, because it's not readily available where I'm at. Like, I can easily get AK Interactive, but I like their sets. Sets are always nice. Color sets are like my favorite thing. Comes with like, you know, six paints in these sets. They're not like break your bank kind of dealios. I like them. I like them a lot. So if I'm going to be doing an army or something, like say I'm going to do like Blood Angels, I'll just get like the red set from AK Interactive. Or if I'm doing Space Bros, I'll just get the blue set from AK Interactive. I just get those kind of things because they're really nice because you can just get them as a set. Game Castle carries a lot of AK Interactive stuff. And then like your Pro Krill lines. You can just order. I normally order most of my stuff online. A lot of times I have a hard time going to stores and getting the things that I need. That's what kind of limited me down of getting Vallejo, because Vallejo doesn't really have like a storefront for me to buy Vallejo paints from. Like Vallejo is just a distributor, but they don't have like a store that I can buy from. Yeah, those are the best. Like, that's what you, anytime you want to try a new paint, look for paint sets. Like, if you're going to do scale 75 and you order from scale 75 USA, is it like scale75usa.com or something like that? And then normal, like flesh tone. Like, flesh tone's like my #1 recommend. The flesh tone set. The velvet set is still flesh tones, but they're just different kind of variations of flesh tones going into like smoother flesh tones. If you're doing a lot of like flesh like flesh on humans or whatnot, those are awesome sets to get. Alive ones, I think scale 75 has an undead one, which so I've been hearing really good recommendations from those, so I might have to get the undead set, the undead flesh. Might get that from scale 75. So like all their flesh tones are awesome, so I'd get those. AK, you can just start getting sets like, you know, like the skin and leather sets. You can start getting, they have all different kinds of sets, so they're really cool to kind of pick those things up. They're only like $20. Stuff like that. They're paying like $3 and whatnot cents for each set. You know, and that's about right around the ballpark for paints anyways. Everything's been escalated in price, so a lot of things are around the $4 range. I was playing around with two thin coats. I wasn't particularly a fan of two thin coats, unfortunately. I do like Duncan Rhodes a lot and all the things that he did in the painting community, but I don't particularly care for his paints, so I never really liked the two thin coats. And it could be because from the Kickstarter, I don't know how it is now by just ordering the paints now. Maybe there is a little bit better consistency with the paints and not a mad dash hurry of getting the paints out because of the Kickstarter. And then but he's doing another Kickstarter again, so I won't ever do it again. I know people talk about Chimera paints, but I don't think I need a singular pigmented paint. That just requires just a lot of mixings to get colors that you want, unless you are straightforward, need one solid color of this and one solid color of that. But most of the time Pro Krill fills that in for me, so I don't think I need another paint set. And they're like weird bottles. Like Chimera, like weird bottles. They look like miniature Elmer's glue bottles. Like, I don't think they're round bottles. That's the other thing. So I'm like, where do I put them? They don't fit in circular things. They have to be put on a shelf. Like Chimera paints are like Elmer glue bottles. Like they're like square bottles. I don't think they're round bottles. I could be mistaken, but I don't think they're round bottles. For the Chimeras. Alright, so I got this paint right here. This is what our base color was, and that was the dark plum. This is the Pro Acryl. These are the signature series. That's where Pro Acryl reached out to all these content creators, social media influencers of high caliber, and got them their own signature series of paints. One of these days I hope to get up there to be able to do something of that sort. The next color we're going to be doing is Yellow Ochre, another fabulous color in the Pro Acryl line. Two thin coats. I picked up a Dwarven skin to try for flesh. At your local shop, you had two thin coats. I picked up the Dwarven skin and tried for flesh. Yeah, I just didn't have the... I just didn't like the consistency of it, unfortunately. I have too much paint in here. If I add the yellow ochre, what it's gonna do is it's gonna give me a relative flesh tone color. Get out of it. What I'm trying to do is just work up the flesh tones into my beige. Not enough something. I need a lot of bubbles. Lots of bubbles means that you got a good mix. This here, because he has a lot of shell work here, I don't think... Oh, that's going to be purple anyway, so I don't think I need to waste any paint on those. Just try to get all the tentacles and stuff on here. I just don't see... It has like a big giant shell on them and very little body to this Yeah, absolutely. And the next color we're gonna mix into this is gonna be a bright ivory, so you can actually get the color up to that kind of that white for the Leviathan High Fleet. But then once I hit it with the oil wash, with the ground brown oil wash, that's what tones them all down to make them look like what we just finished up last time was the Tyranid primes. So you can see that the skin color is back down to dark. It was really bright white, but I just kind of didn't want them looking like that, so. I might have to dump some of this stuff out because I got quite a bit in my pot. Like I said, this is probably going to be really quick on doing all the block fills. And the main one is just trying to get the just kind of that outer shell, because everything else can be done relatively easy with the paintbrush, but this is the one that takes a few layers to get the color that I want. So we'll dump a little bit more of this out. Keep hitting a little harder on the bright ivory. A little bit brighter. More drops. Need a little bit of airbrush flow improver. Just pour like just a few drops in there, just a few drops of water. Stir it again. Got it up nice and bright, right where we want it. Good there. And that's pretty much all we need for the airbrush right now. Everything else, we're just gonna be block filling purples now. Clean up my airbrush real quick, and then we'll get back into just rinsing it out mostly. Keep filling it up with water and one more. Very nice. Alright, sweet. Put this airbrush holder. Just get there. Bust up. Let's open up shop. This is my wet palette. I got a whole lot of space on this thing, so I'm gonna fresh palette. Parchment for this. Oh, oh, that's how my Rough Riders roll. Okay. Get the block fills of what we want to do on here. Doesn't look like we have to do a lot of membrane stuff on here. Just looks like all I got to do is just all the solid purples throughout this. So not a bad gig. I like it. Dark purple. Kind of a larger. Actually going to go up to like a number. Probably go even bigger. We're going to go up to a number 6. Go with the Pro Synthetic number 6. Very large. Very, very, very large. Get all the main areas that we're going to be getting. Of course, I did try to make the thing gonna go right where going to be. Brown claws. Try not to screw up all the work that I did. I don't know why in the mornings I get the shake so bad. Look at that. I'm not trying to do it. You see that shake? Holy smokes. I don't know why I have the shake so bad. Most of the time I am like super steady and creeping on me with the shakes. That's the only benefit of having shakes is that your stippling will be off the chain. Doing the stippling techniques. Those shakes would be great to be doing like granite. I do. I have a singular coffee in the morning. That could be the problem. Caffeine. Most of the time, I can sit there and I can just lay down lines like business. I have been having that struggle in the morning here when I'm doing my YouTube lives. Painting live on YouTube and having the case of the shakes. It eventually starts dissipating after a while. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, from the coffee, probably. I only have just one. So, guess now I know if I need to step up my stippling game, I'll have to drink a cup of coffee and get the shakes going. And make crazy stippling. You'll shake if you don't have coffee? Yeah, you only seem to shake on Sunday stream. Yeah, I know. It's just like my Sunday streams, like my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday streams on Twitch. I don't have any shakes, but that's late. Yeah, that's later in the evening. Maybe all the caffeine and stuff and energy's all burnt out of me. Because I'm like, that's just, I mean, that's just such a crazy freaking shake. Involuntary shakes. Crazy. For Crusader League Wednesday, nice. Yeah, that's a good way of using the half of your Tyranids that you got. I mean, that's more than a combat patrol worth of points that you got. That box. My father's been working hot and heavy on this RC plane of his, and I need to start dipping in and getting that pilot done for his airplane. Yeah, it's just a lot of just blocking your enemies from collecting objective points. Like you're just denying your opponent objective points. Because like a lot of the Tyranids army and stuff like that just gives like battle shock tests every time that like a hit roll or a wound roll. When I was just talking to Talon about the barb gaunts, you know, the ones with the launchers on them. If they hit, it just reduces their movement by 2 inches, including advancing and charges. So I'm like, those are kind of nice. And if you got This Neurotyrant does some pretty cool stuff too. Now I can't remember. Know that the Neurotyrant does really nice. The Screamers. Because you got the, Rosie, you got the Leviathan box, right? So you should have the Neurotyrant, the Barbgaunts, the Neurogaunts, Termagaunts, Screamer, a Psychophage. I think that's what they're called, Psychophages. I have some nids from the aquarium. It's been awesome seeing you playing all those games. You've been very consistent on getting your reps in. Yeah, Leviathan, that came with so many good Tyranid stuff. There. Go and do a smaller brush again. Yeah, but it's been nice. I mean, you've been sitting there talking about all these games you've been playing and getting your reps in and familiarized with your armies and stuff, and that's really awesome. Slight bit jealous. I can start going and playing some games. I just so busy building stuff, and I finally after like a solid week of building on those League of Voton characters, it was a week of building those what are they called? The Hearthkin warriors. The regular little warriors of the space dwarves. And those guys took me like a week, but I built 40 of them. And man, they were tough, man. They were so tough. I was struggling, so mad at them. Now I gotta work on those, like 6 of those hover trikes that they have. I forgot what they're called. Something Pioneer. Like 6 of those to build, and then I can work on the actual Battle Force box. Oh, that's the best scoop. That's the best scoop out of a peanut butter jar. The very first one after you peel the seal lid off of there. Those are always the best. Afterwards, I don't think the peanut butter ever tastes the same. I don't know what's wrong. What happens on that top part? Maybe all the oil kind of seeps down towards the bottom or mid bottom jar, and you just have like that Reese's peanut butter kind of taste on it. I don't know. They're always so good. Like it's just like super fresh, I guess. I don't know. I agree with you. Like I always loved the first scoop of peanut butter off the top. Love peanut butter. A jar and spoon sounds like a good. You're focused on playing this year? Yeah, you've been actually doing a lot of reps, like a lot of good gaming reps. You can gets you really familiar, strategy wise. Hopefully, playing a different factions helps out a lot. Kind of know what you're up against. There's not a faction that you're unaware of. Pretzel rods. One thing that I don't particularly care for are pretzels. I like the soft pretzels, like the big giant soft pretzels. I don't really particularly like the dehydrated crunchy. Like I'll eat them, but they're not something that's like I'll make good pretzel. Not one of the things that a key factor. It's one of the things I don't really like. I mean, I like soft pretzels, but But like Chip Ahoy cookies and you're putting peanut butter on top of Chip Ahoy cookies. Uh, yeah, now that'll be good. Like I can see that being really good. Like soft pretzels and peanut butter. Peanut butter's already relatively salty enough. I don't need it. Chip Ahoy cookie fills in that sweet. So it's literally eating a peanut butter cookie. I just making the chocolate chip Ahoy cookie peanut butter cookie. It's like I know they have like the Reese's peanut butter Chip Ahoy cookies, which I love those. Sometimes it's just good having Chip Ahoy cookies and it's putting a bunch of peanut. Right, the peanut butter and jelly mix. Hey, a whole cup of peanut butter to one single apple. You mean having a little bit of apple with your peanut butter? Just a little bit of apples. How much peanut butter? Actually, getting hot feels on guys are probably the hardest to do, and then after that, good to go. Like I was almost out of peanut butter. Like I need a whole jar of peanut butter for one single. Peanut brittle apples. Freaking awesome. Peanut brittle apples. Like, I like peanut brittle. Never had peanut brittle apples. Oh, there's some. Dang. I have an issue. It's a bigger issue than I thought there was. Should have just. I should have shot the whole thing with that white. There's a huge part that I missed. We'll try to do as much without making too big of a mess with the airbrush. But as I was painting, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like part of its brain. Okay. My bad. Make sure that these dudes don't have them either. Those guys are good for just straight out purples. No, there's an issue I have here. There's this strip right across the brains on both sides. There's this little strip that's on the top here, and then on this back side should be fleshed out as the rest of this. I screwed up. And then I screwed up again by putting the wrong purple in her. Okay, let's do that again without putting the royal purple in. Wrong purple. That sounds better. Okay. Then we gotta go yellow ochre. That might be too much. It's not bad. Oh, that is that. Oh. Never even realized to do stuff like that. Flow improver. Water. Sure. And the pressure down on this. So I can try to control as much of the overspray as I can. bad there. We drop a little bit more of this paint. Yeah, I know that they're laying off people on Twitch. They're laying off people in the Audibles. The Audibles, Twitch, and I want to say the music, Amazon Music, and they're laying them off. But what I've heard wasn't the fact that it was not profitable. It's the fact is they're trying to get a jump onto that AI, all on that AI tech, because Microsoft has the AI Chat GPT or GPT, whatever, and GPT, whatever it's called, and that's their AI operating system. And Google is doing the same thing, laying off in certain departments, so they can try to get their AI thing kicked off with their Gemini, whatever that AI thing interface is supposed to do. And Amazon is trying to focus on getting the AI going, called Olympus, for their AI tech. So they laid off a whole bunch of people from Twitch department, music department, and the Audible department, and started hiring that amount that they just hired that amount over to the AI department to try to get those things kicked off. GPT, yeah. Chat GPT for Microsoft, because they're like the leading of the AI right now. And then Nvidia is like the leader of the AI chips. That's why all the other chip manufacturers are laying off in other departments and focusing over there, like AMD, Taiwan Semiconductor, Intel. And then also Microsoft is taking the extra step there too of trying to create their own AI chips to compete with Nvidia instead of utilizing Nvidia chips. Microsoft's trying to develop their own microchips, their AI chips, to what they are trying to get at or whatever. And that's why there's been such a huge mass layoff on that, because I think like even Google, I think they laid off a bunch of people for doing YouTube stuff, and I want to say there was something else that Google was laying off a bunch of workers also, and saying their lower parts of the department and focusing on going more into the AI direction there. Alright, got those back. Well, once they get their own AI things there, you can utilize the AI to easily make things a little easier writing codes. So instead of having, say, like your 500 employees that are all code writers, that are writing codes, then you can cut that down to, you know, 150 of them, because they're going to be using the AI to help write the codes. Codes will be in place. You let the AI accept those codes, and then when you start putting in the command code of the beginning when you're writing codes, then the AI can step in and fill in all the rest for you, so you're not completely writing these long coding programs on like C, Node, JavaScript, stuff like that. What it's doing is just replacing a lot of people's jobs with the computer that can literally imitate what you're doing on certain programs. It's the same thing with, like, you know, like digital art now, like utilizing like the Chat GPT and having it have access to like a digital art program or whatnot, and then start giving the AI commands that you want something, like what Space Nifty was doing. If you go over on my Discord, Space Nifty opened up the AI, whatever the heck it is, and he's been sitting there messing around with that, just inputting codes, and it's literally doing the digital art for you, so you're not technically drawing it out. Not saying that it's not nice to be able to draw, but to do that extensive amount of detail work or whatever you're going to do for it can take time, where the AI can just do it within seconds. Stuff like that. All it really is just gonna impede a lot on the tech sector of people having jobs, unless of course you're gonna need people that are gonna need to be in the AI sector to make sure that the AI is working accordingly and properly, which then you're gonna have like coding for that you're not gonna let the AI, supposedly not let AI start coding itself, because once you let it start coding itself, then we got Skynet all over again, and we're gonna have Terminators and shit. But yeah, and that's what it's gonna do. That's the whole point of it. It's cutting out time for something that takes 500 employees to do. You're gonna be able to do it with just 100 employees, because it's going to do the work so much faster. And the same thing with like Amazon trying to get Olympus going to run that huge interface that Amazon AWS for the Amazon work, I guess it's called the workshop or whatever it's called, where you order your stuff off of Amazon, and having an AI in there to kind of help regulate and organize that a little bit better than where it's at can help out, instead of having, you know, thousands of employees there trying to make it organized. You'll have an AI that runs through that thing and organizes the interface itself. Yeah, you're not really giving the AI like an actual like C no code, you're giving it like commands. Yeah, Space Nifty was walking me through that when I was sitting there going through, so I have like a whole thing that Space Nifty was walking me through. And yeah, it's just like commands. You're giving it like keywords, kind of like out of a codex. You're giving it keywords and having the keywords interface with the AI, and then it does what those keywords you are giving it to do. it's actually really interesting in certain aspects, but then I can see what the colossal turnaround is going to happen here. Like, I can see what the downfall, not really the downfall of AI itself, but it's more the downfall of people who work in those departments are going to be not working much longer because AI is going to replace it. It's no different than the same thing with the assembly line work. You know, things change over time. You know, it's the same thing as, like, you know, car manufacturing when everything was done by hand, and now robotics are the ones that replace those, which cut down the amount of workers, but you're still going to need some workers to work on the robotics, but not as much as having a full car assembly line of people working on building cars. You actually have robotics that does a lot of that stuff and all those kind of things. But you're still gonna need employees, but just not as many. Well, it just like that's the one thing, like, it works great on, like, my aspect because it takes me 100 years to get something drawn out. I think maybe over time it can help me better, you know, with, like, practice, just like painting and everything else. But if something that I can actually get to pop up quickly, that I can actually pump out more imagery utilizing the AI. It's my concept idea that I'm giving the AI to put on there, and then I make the changes that are on there. It's my visualized idea, and then it's no different than hiring somebody to draw. Like, I have you draw some of the artwork that I have, and you're doing the same thing. It's the same concept. Like, I'm telling you something, and you're taking that concept and making your own art. And then showing me afterwards. I'm just commanding it into the AI, and the AI is, like, doing it within seconds. It's seconds. It doesn't take very long at all. When I was screwing around with the program that Space Nifty was, and I was on there, and I was like, this is freaking fast, dude. Like, it's just like within minutes having an imagery all on there. I think it takes away, yeah, like, personal, um, your personal style, I guess I should say. Um, it's kind of like how I paint my miniatures this way, and Demon Rich paints his way. You know, Richard Gray. It's like everybody has a different paint style. Same thing as everybody has, like, a different drawing style, or you know, artwork style, and I think that's the difference between the two, I guess. But I think I can still grasp my concept idea. But something that I don't do a whole lot of is drawing, and take the drawing and have the AI doing the drawing for me in the forms, and then I just have it change what I want on there, and then it just redoes it again with the different changes that I want on there until I have a final output, and then yeah, you can tell it's AI because it's doesn't lack any small imperfections that you can see in other people's art styles. You know, with the sketching and all that kind of stuff, depending on what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, I can see the things that are in those outputs, but it does make things nice to make things, like, quicker and faster on my part. without me doing so much of everything all at once. And then the other thing, like I like too, is I'm gonna start trying to utilize AI to help doing the sculpts for 3D prints. I think that's gonna be just like a huge dramatic difference there. Given the commands of what I want, what I need from it. And you can give the AI the correct sizes so I don't have to physically try to get the correct sizes out of it. It can do it for me. Makes that nice, more precise, and great 3D prints. Yeah, and it's just like it's just how you're commanding it to do and trying to get it where it has hands that come out of the waist and stuff. Makes great monsters. Guys, who's that? Oh, it's the place that Talon you showed me. He had STL files, and there was like a Santa Claus and the Goblin, and the Santa Claus had the big giant axe, and I forgot that company though. But he just posted something on Instagram, and he goes, "Here's my AI influenced freaking STLs that are coming out, and they look stellar." Like even if it gave you enough of a like a silhouette to even work on, that would be excellent on my part. More symmetric, and then I can actually do whatever I want in the silhouette. Like, give me a silhouette body of someone running towards me, running away from me, running sideways or whatever, and then I fill in all the rest. Even that is like tremendously helpful without me sitting there sketching, trying to get the movement and everything else right. Getting the symmetry, making sure that like the head and the shoulders and the neck are all, relatively symmetric in proportion to the sizes. A lot of times when I do that, mine always come out to being off. If there are things that it can help me like improve in certain aspects without me constantly just littering paperwork constant, sketching and erasing and sketching and erasing to get the things that I need, and then this thing can kind of provide me kind of a layout that I can actually fill in. Be nice. And it doesn't have to necessarily do all of it, but if it can help out with like certain things. Yeah, hardcore miniatures. Hardcore miniatures posted up those things, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not that good at Blender, but if I have something that's helping me out making the things as I'm commanding it to do. without me spending countless months working with like Blender or something of that sort, or ZBrush or whatnot to sculpt my things out. It's helping me doing the silhouettes and the silhouette of the body and the movements of the body and the poses, everything else, without me spending just all that time. It's just like, I think the thing is just cutting the time down. What's up, Doom Paints? How you doing? And I also talent is like, if I could actually teach AI to build my miniatures, I'm 100% down with that. Just have it just a symbol on them. Here you go. Here you go. I'll be like, oh, it's gonna save me from carpal tunnel and arthritis. I'll be down for that in a heartbeat. AI robot that can build your GW model. Sold. Sold. Have me sold. Yeah, but that's like a lot of work though, getting it posed. Getting it post properly, getting the things in, spending all the time freaking making sure they're detailed out the way you want it. Someone can just pop the thing that I want. A perfect Aquila, so I'm not sitting there trying to make a perfect Aquila on a chest or shoulder pad. You know, sometimes my feathers are off, you know, stuff like that. So give me something that's just like knocks right into place. It's nice. Hanging out on a Sunday, just finishing building Satan Shard of the Nightbringer. Nice. Some Necron love there. The Satans are nice. Look great in the book on how they play. I was thinking about putting a Satan in there, but most of the Satans but one is an epic hero. I have the Illuminator that I have to deal with. On here. Very tight area here.
Ooh. Right in there. Very hard to read. Bit of this overspray. I get the block fill. Main key here is block fill. Missed this spot when I was painting all this purple, and then oh no, I missed a spot, so I get the airbrush out. Right in there, get the colors up. Now I gotta go back through and just kind of touch up any of the little bit of overspray that. Back to the base color. Those things will be ready for midtones highlights. Alright, finally. Almost. Thought I got all the purple, but I guess not. You on this thing has a lot of like purple hard shells. But then, like I said, once we get all the block filling, all the colors in, everything else starts going easier because you have everything literally sketched out. And then midtones and highlights follow so much easier. After you get purples on there, that looks good. Go ahead and do these ones. These ones are going to be super easy. Nearly as much purple shards and hard to reach areas. Those are kind of non-existent on the
I don't even know what you're even talking. What are you talking about, Rosie? Sith Rose goes, "Where's my? Is it say John Air? He left 30 minutes ago." Missing your ride? These guys look like Tyranid Banes. Like are welcome. You were captured to our air. Down there is like a meat burrito. Oh. And I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Never heard. Bro, I don't even know what that is. It's like if I paid for some Skillshare digital sculpting courses. Oh. Would you take the time and work on doing it the old-fashioned way? It's like I could. It's like I could. It's just the time. Just the time. Got so much to do, so little time to do anything. But it's just like I have ideas, and I love to put them down. But it's just like I don't have the time to like do the digital courses are relatively fast paced, and I guess I could do that. There's a lot of the things that I do I don't even want to like even go to school for because school takes too much time. Like just drug out. Shouldn't be that drug out. Because I'm even thinking of taking courses with the wifey on doing the IT stuff, doing the fast tracks. Like, I don't even care about like credits anymore. It's just like it's all about certifications anyway. So it's just like I just want to sit there and just like fast track myself. It's like it's technically a 3-month program, but you have up to 6 months to do it. So you can smash it out in 3 months. That's like time crunching. Did I go do the course with me? What course is like the sculpting course? Is it off of Blender? Is it off of ZBrush? Do I have to get the ZBrush program? As you know, like, being in the gaming world now, I think there's a difference. Like, I do like, like Patreon or My Mini Factory when they're making stuff. But, like, in the cases of, like, people that don't play games, but they like doing, like, the artwork for the games, and a lot of their like proxy models are nice and stuff, but like my biggest thing is to have things that are close to the models that you would actually use. Does that make sense? Like a lot of these things, like they make stuff that you can't really integrate it into the game. Like RLW makes you a proxy model, and like individual proxy models, those are nice because you can like replace like a lord or a lieutenant or something like that with a proxy model. And like Cromlech, like they have, instead of like Killicans, they have Killinas. Like that's a great concept idea. I like that idea, and the measurements are exactly the same of width, height, base size, everything else. Just a different style that you can actually integrate it into your game. A lot of the things that I see like on like My Mini Factory and Patreon and stuff are amazing art, amazing sculpts, but hard to integrate it into something because they don't look relatively the same or are not aesthetically aesthetically made to kind of blend with your army that you add in there. Oh, okay, I get you. Oh, okay, these ain't bad at all. But it's just getting the... I think that you would probably want to run off of ZBrush, right? But I guess you can use Blender too. Blender's kind of tough, when I was messing around with Blender. When I was messing around with ZBrush, it was really... I felt like it was very organized a little bit better to get through the process. But I know that ZBrush is like a price spendy thing, and Blender is something that you don't have to pay for. Yeah, I see that there's ones for Blender. There's like a lot of designs, like I don't even mind like the designs, but I'd rather have more generic looking Space Marines instead of like structurally bound to one
off-brand chapter of Space Marines or factions that, you know, but I think it's because it won't get you in trouble. I know the reason that. There's some Skillshare 3D sculpting classes, and they are great. Really? The meat on a spit. Oh, and they carve it off. They're like yeah, they and like okay, like pitas. Okay. Yeah, the class is hours. Yeah. It's like I think I can. I'm almost done building so much 40K stuff that I don't think I'm gonna have to build too much more. Been like really on the ball of trying to get all these boxes just built. Unbelievable. It's like, you know, it's easier to do the commands through AI and have them just do my 3D prints for me. I want you to do your own sculpts. You lazy SOB. 3D assets is second life. I made clothes and hair for avatars long, long ago. Oh, gotcha.
Because I'm thinking like more so in like blending out, like sculpting my own plinths, let alone having my own plinths, but then actually sculpting out display pieces to print out to put onto plinths for like competitive playing, you know, instead of me having to craft and do stuff. I can literally make the parts that go on a plinth. Does that make sense? Like kind of like making this without me having to do all the crazy work on it, and then actually have it where you can print this sucker and then and then place it right onto your plinth. Cuts and saves time. Like cool, like display pieces. I couldn't do that, man, because I had an iguana as a pet when I was growing up as a kid, and I love my iguana. I don't know if I can actually do. I don't think I can kill them. I'll be like, nah, they're all gonna be my pets. Iguana got huge too. Like my iguana, he had like a he was like from head to the base of his, from the head until the start to the back of his legs. He was like almost 3 foot long. Then with his tail made him like 5.5 feet or so. Maybe it was like 2.5 feet long from head to the back of his tail. So he was about like his head was here, the back of his tail's there. It was about like 1.5 feet. It was about 1.5 feet, well, maybe 2 feet. You know, he was good size. And then when he had his tail on there, I mean, he stretched out for, you know, a good 5 feet or so. Yeah, I just don't think I could. Like, especially like raising them and stuff. Like, they'd just all be my friends. They're all my pets. I couldn't. My iguana, his name was Igor. Had him for years. A horrible thing happened that made him die. That he died. Was when I was a kid. We were moving from one house to another house. My parents were moving from another house to another. We were moving to a different house, and it was like dead winter, and it was freezing. And he had his heat lamps and stuff, and everything was all plugged in when I left the house to go to the other house, because all my bed and like my beds and stuff and everything was over there. He was like my little bit of furniture, and then the iguana was gonna be moved over there, so he set in place and didn't have to freak out or anything. And when we left there was a power outage, and it knocked the power, it popped the breakers at the house when I was away, and then he froze. He got too cold, he died. I was so upset. It broke my heart so bad. I had him for like 6 years, 7 years. I mean, just dead. It just broke my heart. I couldn't believe it. I was so upset. Because he was like the last thing I needed to move over. But then also, I was young. I was like my son's age. I was right around 12 when he died. And I was just so upset. Like, so upset. I could not believe I just brought him with me. So many woulda, shoulda, couldas. But that ate at me for a while when I was a kid. Yeah, I love my iguana. He was awesome. He was like, I had to put big old stones and stuff on top of the big old aquarium to keep him in there, because a lot of times he would just push but he'd still get out. He'd sit there and push the lid, get out. Then he crawled in my bed because it used to be like my bed's like here, and then like my bed was here, and then the iguana, the aquarium was right next to there. So you'd just climb down, and I'd wake up, and you'd just be chilling. It's because because my bed, just being warm and stuff, he would just hang out over there, and he's all warm and just snuggly and stuff. I love my iguana, man. Loved him to bits. He was a big old bastard. He used to take him on walks and stuff. People used to freak out and stuff because I had him all on a freaking harness leash and stuff and walk him around, and you just go over and lay on the asphalt, and it was like a bazillion degrees, and he was just laying on it, just like, it feels so good. And I'm just like sweating and dying out there. I'm like, come on, you lizard, we need to get going. And he, like, when he runs, he's just like, it's just like, it was funny. It was a fun, good time. Black green. I don't think I would ever want to live in Florida either. I don't think Florida. I don't think I would fit very well in Florida. For so long he could worm across the terrain, grab it with his tongue. Oh, that's funny. Just lizard snipping. Yeah, like the natural terrain stuff would be easier to learn. Like there's some things that I'd like to have, make, and stuff like that. And then um, making the proper weapons, like that. Making like terrain pieces, proper weapons. Like all they have to do is have just a slight variance to them, but you know the size, how they hook onto the models, and everything like that. Like those are the things that like I think are crucial and needed. Because like everything that you get, you just don't get enough of. You know they'll keep coming out with codexes that you can load up all your guys with like 5 of the same things, but it only comes with like 2. And so I would like to actually like sculpt out ones that look almost relatively close, but a little bit different, so I'm not getting in trouble. But salsa dance. So I was like, I guess we could do a skill share and spend some time on that. I'm really close to being done with building a whole bunch of the 40k. The Leagues of Voton are driving me insane once they're done. I hope I don't have to build anymore. It's actually to the point where I probably won't even sell my Leagues of Voton. I would just keep. Kind of like the Sisters of Battle or the. Like the reason I'm not selling them is because they were so hard to put together. And then when I paint them, it's going to take quite a bit of time. And I like the Sisters of Battle, so I'm always going to keep an arm. Keep World Eaters. Probably will keep my Blood Angel. But Space Marines are so relatively easy to paint that I can always do them again. I say that 5 times fast. Yeah, when the Dark Angels will be in it pretty heavy with the Dark Angels. Not sure about actually doing like an actual infantry army more so than doing a Raven Wing vehicle army with them. Probably be stealth.
purple. Right. Now they're really tight spots in here to get down here for the frame. Goes through the back and into the front here. Did Excel classes, Photoshop, ZBrush, Blender. Yeah, I guess we could let's like look into the let's look in the classes on Skillshare and let's go ahead and do like with Blender because Blender is the free one. I played around with Blender quite a bit. You can go back anytime and the info's still there. So we know for sure they took away the command squad, so they took away the old bikes. So they're just gonna be outriders? Like just only outriders is all the only thing they're gonna have is their bike squads? Because I'm like, that's so... I was worried about the Thunderhammer deal to begin with. Because it looks like this edition's not a whole lot of hard hitters. There's no Deathwing command squad at all? Oh, the Deathwing, I'm sorry. So the Deathwing command squad, they're taking that away, and then that takes away the Thunderhammers. It's useless now? I don't think so, because I think you could just put regular Terminator, like regular Terminator armor bits, like Power Fist and whatever weaponry, and then just run them as regular Terminators. Yeah, and I don't even think the Knights have flails anymore. They're just maces. They're just maces and power weapons. They don't even have flails. Which that sucks because I just put together the old school Deathwing. The Deathwing Knights and have them with flails. And now I'm just like, shit, now they need maces.
I don't think you have to cut the weapons off. Should have magnetized all of it, so you can just pop them off easy enough. Yeah, that's what that's gonna have to happen. They're just gonna be their maces on chains. But then also, I'm not gonna make any like fast judgments or anything until the content is in my hands. I'm not gonna make any changes or do anything until the codex is in my. Can't base things off of little hearsays. Some things like the Deathwing Knights. Cut out the hammers, but you still have maces, and the flails are just gonna have to be maces on chains. That's just how it's gonna be. Then Terminators will just be, because the generic Terminators, because all Deathwing is just a supplement. It's not a full-out codex, so you can still just make them as regular. Because you can just make your Terminators into Terminator Assault Squads. And then you can still have them with Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields. So you can, I mean, it's just that the Dark Angels, those are just supplements, so it doesn't mean that you can't use anything out of the Space Marine Codex. So just make them just the Assault Terminators and just make them with Thunder Hammers and Storm Shields. So they would just be Dark Angel generic Terminators. Yeah, because they're just going to be just the same as the generic Assault Terminators. And if that changes anyways, you still can make them Assault Terminators. Because the Dark Angels are just supplement codex anyways. It's not its own standalone codex. That can only it's not limited to only using the stuff that's in the Dark Angel Codex. You can use stuff out of the regular Space Marine Codex. Even if, say by chance, the Deathwing Terminators can't use hammers, which would be odd in itself, they'll just make them all Terminate. Like Deathwing logos on. They should be able to use hammers and shields with no problem. So you should still be going around smashing fools up with what you have.
brains. The green brain. After this, I'm going to start working on the Terminators I have. I was working on Twitch and all edge highlighted. And washed, and then Monday we'll work on the Skull Crusher from Arnold W. So we'll get this guy. I have to figure out what kind of red I want to use on him. I think I might use the AK reds on him. I don't have all the AK reds. I need to order reds for. I only have some of them. I think it's enough to get. Oh, do they not like that word? I do not know. Actually, I haven't actually looked at any of my live videos. I don't think there's a chat. I don't think it shows a chat at all. I think you guys are all covered from the chat, because I don't think the chat's actually in it. So you guys are talking to me, and I'm just like talking into the void here. I don't think anybody. I haven't looked at my other videos if a chat bar actually pops up on the screen or not. I don't think it does. Like, I think I'm gonna have to import that onto my screen. And if we do, I guess we're gonna have to moderately behave yourselves. Oh, did he really? Interesting. It shows.
Start throwing around that word. I like to chime in. Almost all the block fills in place. Once I'm done with the block fills, that'll be done with this stream. Then the next stream, we'll just finish all the rest of it up. Yeah, I never looked up to see what previews were coming up. Sunday preview on G-Dubs on Warcom.
That has a lot of orbs all. Maze. Almost there with all these little orbs. Stuff. Guess we should probably do the little orbs on these guys. I had like one like orb on the bottom here. I guess I can make the because they look like more like spike. We're good there. So let's go into again. Always forget the center of the chest. All the Tyranids. It's the same kind of purple hard shell as the rest of the other stuff on the outer surfaces. Right there in the sternum part. I always forget those. Even more purple stuff on the back. Totally not cool. This thing actually definitely needs to probably be sub-assembly, like mostly every model I've painted so far of all the new characters. Look like it would be sub-assembly. Are extreme enough to read. Oh, I think I nailed all the purple draft there. Yeah. Only a few things that we got to do with this. This is burgundy. That's where we get into the like kind of soft spots in between the joints, membranes like for wings and stuff. Everywhere, of course, like, all over. Loving this barometric pressure I've been dealing with. And all my paint bottles explode everywhere. Said not a whole lot going on. A lot of these hard to reach. Quite sure exactly what these things are that are holding on to the pain, but good. And probably been best if these things were separated and not together. Difficult to reach. Made to order old world. That's a bummer. Like that's like here's old world. Here's a made to order. All your legends. Yeah, it sucks not gonna be able to have like vampire courts, chaos dwarves. They're all gone. It's just a real small. What's doing there? Like I said, not much of the flesh actually sticks out on this. It's just like all head, massive. All easily get all the complete. Still has a little bit of brain stuff in the back here. I don't know if I can. Not easy. Got it. Well, the block fill is practically done. We just got to do just the golden brown for the claws, but other than that, that's pretty much all the block fills on these. These are like great learning curves for me to do when I work on the Tyranids again to make sure that I do them in sub-action because they're doable, but you know they're paintable, but just not really difficult to get. Now we just need to go golden brown for claws. Yeah, I've been actually doing really well on YouTube, like keeping like figures down to just like 2 streams. Like the only one that took me a long time was the Norn Emissary. That took me 5 parts. That took me 5. That was like 5 Sundays. And then the Death Reaper took me only 2. And then I did 2 Tyranid Primes, and that took me 2 streams also. And this one will take me 2 streams as well. So I think we're making like really good progress. This, and I'm able to hit it in 2. And then after I get the browns on, we'll just stop it right there. So you have a stream of just block filling your figure. And the second one is just doing the midtones and the highlights. And bam, and then edge highlights, and done. Like you're just done with the whole entire model. So that's not too bad to finish him up and make him look all tabletop plus ultra. I mean, technically, I mean, you can get away with just this being Tyranids. Just base code everything that you want, like just block fill everything up, and then guess what? You know, they're battle ready. Got to shake base them, but you gotta put some sort of basing on it. Other than that, they're ready to roll. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit better and better at the Tyranids, and the Tyranid army itself is coming along really nicely. Been working on a lot of the new figures, but then eventually we'll start getting into the Termagants. I don't know if I should actually do full streams of the Termagants. What I need is like a visible clock that you guys can see when I'm making YouTube videos of it, just kind of like monologuing, pull out sub-assemblies of the Termagants, the Gargoyles. I got like 10 Gargoyles. A lot of Termagants, Neurogons. They're pretty small. Don't know if they'll go by fast or not. Yeah, I actually am. Yeah, I'm just building up a whole 2,000 points, and then I'll sell these things over on my Discord. Once they're done, they'll be over on my Discord. Like the Imperial Knights are. Because this guy has all his claws all in kind of the same area. Not all over the place like the other one. That's all the claws. Oh, I lied. I lied. Alright. How did I get all the claws? What about the teeth? Black jaw. Teeth hang out of here. Okay. Now I think I got it all. I think this dude even has eyeballs. The eyeball. Nothing but. Well, cool. Got all the block filling on that. I've been enjoying this immensely. Nigga water everywhere. Just add that to the list. Oh boy.
So you need a new vehicle. You need a new vehicle for the wifey, and you need to fix the dishwasher again. Yeah, I know. I thought you just got the dishwasher fixed. Always something, right? Always something. Alright, guys. I think I might just close up shop here. Don't got much more to do on this. We just gotta do the midtones and highlights, so these guys will end up looking like this. The cool thing is there wasn't that much burgundy, like the actual true flesh tones of this model. Like nothing that's too extravagant. We're just gonna have to just glow out the brains and their little brain patches and stuff like that. And then that's the accent that we're using is the green. Most of the time I had to add like green claws like I did on the Tyranid Prime. But this one has enough accents on there to roll. And of course the little babies that go with it. Not a bad course of getting some stuff done for sure. And now they're all block filled, so next Sunday we just do the midtones, highlights, edge highlights, and give it the wash, and then done, and then we move on. Just move on. And then I'll be doing the base work later, because I know like the bases have some pretty cool bases on the new models. I was just gonna go through some processes of how I do all my bases, and ones that don't have anything that are on them, and how we do this shake base stuff. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad for a Sunday stream. Trying to get these guys done. And then like after the Neurotyrant, then we'll be working on either a Screamer, Psychophage, or a Biovore. Or we can do the, what is it? The Ryan's, Von Ryan's Leapers. I got the Nero Leapers we can do too. I got 2 of those guys. We gotta get those done. Not a bad gig. Oh, that's a bummer. So it's a new dishwasher and now it's starting to leak. That's horrible. Repair services, repair services. Yeah, start taking a look and see where it's coming from. Alright guys, want to close out shop. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight, or today, this afternoon, early morning to afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to my sponsors above. You're more than welcome to use those commands in chat, or you can go over on my Discord, !mark Discord. That'll all be in the link descriptions too on the in the video. So you go in the descriptions, it'll be in my Discord. And then also follow me over on Twitch, !mark Twitch. And then also please subscribe, please like on this video. I've been doing this every weekend, so I'm doing this every weekend because I'm trying to shoot for that 1,000 subscriber goal. Once we achieve that, I will probably be doing even more YouTube streams to get that second part of the partnership to YouTube. So just letting you guys know this is what the game plan is. So if you are watching it, you are enjoying this, give it some thumbs up. Give me a subscribe so we can shoot for that 1,000 subs on here on Twitch. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Other than that, that should be it. Let's go ahead and close everything out. I wish that YouTube had raids that I could raid over to another live streamer, but I don't know if there's that many live streaming painters that are painting miniatures like I am doing right now. So if I can keep on adding more to this, I think we're doing a pretty good job. So I do appreciate you all coming and hanging out as we're sitting there smashing out some Tyranids. So then guys, take care, and I will catch you guys tomorrow as we're going to be working over onto Twitch, !mark Twitch. Also in my description below this video would actually show the Twitch link that you can go over and follow me on Twitch, and we're going to be working on this Artle W piece. proxy model Skull Crusher for the World Eaters. We'll do that tomorrow. And hopefully I can maybe get this thing ready for prize wheel. Get that thing ready for the prize wheel would be great. Because I got to keep on adding new stuff to the prize wheel thing. That's all the good stuff over on Twitch. You guys want to know about that, go and hang over on that. Hang over on the Twitch. Other than that, thank you guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys later.